right. Hello, everybody. It is me, Rashi. You can see my face. Literally. There we go. There I am. Someone was screaming my name in the background. It's a working newsroom in the background. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, we're talking about something that has really been an underlying theme for a lot of the international stories that I've covered. From what's been going on in Ukraine to, like the Taliban takeover. We had the earthquakes in Haiti, things that are happening with the tsunami. I mean, there's just so many world events happening. And a lot of times, even things like school shootings that happen in our nation. And I always talk with psychologists because parents don't know how to really relay this information to younger children or to their older children, and also what they can do about it because they feel helpless. This is happening and it's so far away. And so the underlying theme is, first off, give age appropriate information and then try to be part of the solution. And that's exactly what's happening here with one local parent who had this idea, and it's really helped other kids. And I think it can be a great example and really a catalyst for us to teach our children to do something like this as well. So a little background of the story. The family is from Turkey, or has origins in Turkey. And as we know, the earthquakes rattled Turkey last month. And obviously, there's so much devastation. It's going to take them so long to rebuild. More than, I think it was almost 46,000 people were killed because of this. So many more impacted. And sitting almost 7,000 miles away here in Houston, what do you do? And so I'm going to bring in Mehmet to the conversation. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for accepting us, Rashi. We appreciate
Yes.
it.
So tell me how you got this idea, because what we're getting at is how you wanted to do something. You felt helpless seeing what's happening to your country over there. You obviously being here. So talk me through what you wanted to do and why.
Yeah, again, it was happening, as you said, so many miles away. It's our homeland. It was, I mean, seeing all those, like the pictures and the videos from the news, it's an heartbroken. And then, again, these are the people from Turkey. And no, I love gardening, by the way. It's like a 6 a.m., 6:37 a.m. I wake up, and then before I go to school, I just, I work in a school system. So I go and then talk to my, the vegetables, and then put them some water in them, and then try to take care of them. And again, this is like the right season, I guess, for people. I know that a lot of people are looking for like a small plants that they can put into their garden, and
Mm-hmm.
I really have like a good type of peppers and tomatoes and the eggplants, and I always wanted to do something with my kids, and I suggested my daughters, and I said, okay, I mean, this is right here. I can give you all help that I know. I mean, like, I know what the thing is, and you guys would like to do some fundraising event for the victims of Turkey. And again, you know how the kids are. It was well received by her first, because if she doesn't like the idea, and then she asked her friends. I guess they get together with their high school team, and I was also involved in their Zoom meetings, just to help them out in the road. Like, we have like a meeting notes, those kind of stuff, and it was a great turnout. I really enjoyed working with them, I will say.
That's awesome. And so, Nilofer, you're his daughter. I'm gonna bring you in. So, you're 15 years old, and your dad brings you this idea. And what made you want to go ahead and do something? Because, like I talked to you about, I would encourage everyone to go to our website, because we have the story that we aired yesterday, and just more on how you're spending. I think you're on spring break, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, why even take the time to do something like this? I mean, other teenagers would just be like, let me just, be on TikTok or something. So
Yeah.
what was
Okay.
your reasoning?
So this idea occurred to us around like 2.5 weeks ago. My dad was like, hey, this tragedy happened and we can do something about this. And I agreed, because I personally know people that have relatives in Turkey that were affected. And I was like, I know how sad people are about this. And I know that there's an easy way that we can just raise money and help people. And I know sometimes you'll be like, I'm too lazy, that might be too much work. But you can make it fun. You know, I invited my friends to do this. I could have just done this with my dad and my friend, with my dad and myself, right? But I was like, I'm gonna make this fun. I'm gonna make this fun for other people. I know I have a lot of friends that love helping out. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring my friends into this and I'm gonna make it fun for myself and while doing something helpful for the community and people overseas.
That's awesome. And I'm going to add your friends to the stream here. Here they are. And so you guys, came on board with this idea. And I'm just really fascinated because, with kids like 6, 7 years old, they kind of do what their parents tell them to do. And you all are at an age, which I've been at. Mehmet's also been at that age where it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to listen to my parents. So why do you think it's so important, other than helping other people out? What I'm trying to get at is it kind of sets an example for others as well. So, Nursel, if you want to go first, you can.
Yeah, so like you said, it's like you need to be very motivated to do something like this. I just thought about how people are suffering in Turkey, and my relatives are there as well. So I was like, I want to help. I want to contribute. We can't just say, oh, it's like not our problem. Like let's let them suffer and stuff like that. So I wanted to take a part in helping others.
Yeah, that's great. And what about, obviously helping others, but for people who are not affected by this directly, or, have family members there, other things like Ukraine? I mean, have there been other ways that you all have helped? Maybe not on an international spectrum, but also locally?
I can
Feel
speak.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I wasn't, or my family wasn't directly affected by the earthquake, thankfully, but I never really realized that, like, you don't have to be affected. Also, your standards don't have to be so low. Like, I didn't really expect us to, like, earn over $2,000, but then I realized, I was like, this isn't a game, like, that should be the standards, even higher. It doesn't matter if you're not affected by it, but like, this is, if you can do it, then do it, That's
Yeah.
why, yeah.
No, that's great. And what do you think is the problem? What do you think stops people, especially like, the next generation, from doing, because you guys obviously have a great heart and want to do all of this, but what do you think stops the other person from wanting to take that step to be part of a solution?
It's probably because we think for us to take a step, we need someone like older or someone with more like authority to take a step first. But like, as as we did it, we just kind of did it all together as a group of kids, or with the help of like adults and stuff. But before this, I didn't think I could be a part of something so big of like this, Yeah, so I'm thankful for
No, that's
everyone.
great. I mean, that's the point. It's like we're all part of something bigger. And, I want to instill those values in my kids, even though they're little right now. But I think for parents, it's kind of like, I just want to shelter them from the news. I mean, I hear that so much, that I just want to shelter them from the news. There's so much bad stuff. And I understand that too. But what was really eye opening to me is, like when I was growing up, my parents would be like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, kind of thing. But there's so much going on to where it's like, you have to tell your children the truth, obviously age appropriate. So I was going to ask you all, what do you hope in terms of people not watching the news, not knowing what's happening around the world? Do you think that's a good thing or bad? I mean, do you understand both sides of the spectrum?
Yeah, so me personally, I don't watch the news that often, but like the news isn't the only place where you can see important stuff happening in our world. Like personally on Instagram, on TikTok, I see so many news things about the Turkey earthquakes. I first found out from like TikTok, but then like things like the Willow Project, I found out like that from TikTok and Instagram. So social media is also like a great like news source. But like me personally, I don't watch the news myself. I don't go open my TV and be like, oh, let me see what's going on in the world today.
You mean you don't watch me every day?
Unfortunately, I will make it a practice. I will make it a habit. I will open TV at 5 and 9, and I will watch it. But like I didn't used to do that before. But like as I like started to see like news come up on social media for myself, I'm like, this is actually really important, and people should know about this. Awareness is a really
definitely.
important thing.
Did you want to add something, Nursel?
Yeah, so I think you should be aware of what's going on around you. And there are devastating things that are happening like all around the world, internationally, with like wars and like other really big problems. And so just like being aware and like trying to think like what can I do to help? Like I feel like that's really important because it's your job as a human being.
Yeah, definitely. And Mehmet, I was going to ask you as a parent, where do you see kind of parents, I guess, sheltering in some regard and not, I know that, you just doing this from the goodness of your heart. Hey, I have plants. I want to help out Turkey. Let's try to, it's a, for you, a small thought turned into a bigger thing. But what advice would you give parents out there?
I guess, I mean, like, it's not easy to have uh, like if we can kind of brainstorm how we can get these young kids involved in in what's going on around them. And it hurts when the fire happens into your land, but like, how am I going to be responding if it is happening not in my land but in others? And how can we give that kind of like a mentality to our kids that it's not mine, it's not my problem? No, I mean, it's like it's everybody's problem, I guess. The other thing is, as one of the teenager mentioned, that I guess it is important for us to guide them. It's not like, I mean, okay, this is our project, here you go ahead and handle, and I'll enjoy my time. No, I'm in it. I'm just gonna go walk through with you in every step, so that I will be there, and at the same time give them a platform. Sometimes, as we are adults, we might be a little bit dominant, and then taking all those again like decisions. I was part of the team, and then be a team member there. And if they are making a decision, I have a one vote as well. I can go ahead and say my like an ideas. If it's well received by them, that's all fine, because I want them to have this initiative. But I told Nullifer and the group, I will be with you on that, and I will give my full support to you, right? But go ahead and bring the team. And also, I guess this might be a good like a project for them to see, because I mean, I helped them out to put the meeting minutes as well. These young generation, it's everything in their head. And I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and write it down, right? What are we going to be discussing in our first Zoom meeting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then what are we going to be discussing right after that? What again? How are we going to use this money to where? So again, I guess as an adult, it is important for us to recognize that we're also a team member, and we will be there and not being dominant, because sometimes it happens too, right? Because we have a lot of experience there, and but it is not easy for us to step back and then stay there and then go ahead and run. If they're going to make a mistake, that's all fine. I guess it's not a big thing there, right? But we can go ahead and guide them. That's what I can suggest to all of our parents. And also, it's a great connection with the young people. I'm so happy that I was able to meet with them, and then we enjoy talking to them. It's the energy there, and you can feel that energy. It's good for your own sake too. I mean, as as a father, I'm very proud of what they have done. And also, this is our young generation, right? It's like they are going to be running this country. They are going to be, the representatives, the senators. They will be doing all those things. As the parents, what are we doing to promote, these kind of things for them? That's the end of the day. You're just going to be looking at, what did I do for my kids to become a great leader in the country, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's such a great way to put it, and I'm so glad you said that. I was just gonna say, as a parent to two young ones, and like just starting this off, like That's such great advice to not be dominant, because when growing up, my parents would be dominant and telling me to do things and whatever, and I honestly always was like, they don't know what they're talking about. But now looking back at it, I'm like, okay, I get why they did what they did, and I hate that I say that, because I never wanted to say that. Like, I just was so like, oh my god, what in the world, having me go to temple at like 8 a.m. every Sunday, what is, like little things like that, but we're actually like big. And so now I look back, and even little things we do, like we were playing teacher with my 6-year-old son, and he's like, okay, so we're gonna do this on the board, and I'm like, oh well, that's the wrong side of the board, maybe you want to write on this. And I'm like, wait, it's like these little things that you're like, just let them be. You just be there for support and guidance. And Mehmet, to your point, like, you're like, okay, let me put them in a Girl Scout troop, or do this activity, that activity, so they can do these things, but you can do them yourself at home. And it can be a benefit both to the parent and both to the kid as well. I was going to ask you all if there's any advice you would give to other fellow teenagers that are out there, because I know there's a lot of peer pressure out there.
I would say don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and just do your best and try to contribute as much as possible to the world around you, because you could have a really big impact.
That's so good. And actually, being different is honestly the only way to live life, because you're going to stand out and be so successful doing just that. And I can just say that from experience, and all the people that I interview and people that I see from my job. And it's like, being different is okay. Even though like in high school, you're like, I want to be like everybody else, like, what everyone else is doing. But that's how I was. And I've kind of branched out on my own. So I would definitely give that advice to you all, because being different is being different, and that can be difficult, especially in the society that we're in with all this pressure. But you look back, and all those people that used to make fun of me, they try to contact me now. And I try to be the higher person. But I'm like, you made fun of me, like, because, I had Indian food in my lunchbox, or, whatever the case may be. And now they're doing whatever. And so anyway, what about you both, Nilufer and Nilgun?
I was thinking, like, sometimes I know it's like, I don't want to listen to my parents, let me do my own thing. But sometimes it's okay to listen to them, because this was only possible by listening to my dad.
Yeah.
Because without my dad with this really great idea, I would never have been able to like raise nearly $2,500 for turkey. And this isn't like his only time. He's been giving me like great suggestions. My mom and my dad, they always give me suggestions like this, and it's very rarely that I take them, but I do take them sometimes.
Yes.
And through that, I was also able. This isn't like the only event that we've created to like help out in Turkey. We also like have this this organization that we made. It's called Tutor Youth, and it's a group of high schoolers that tutor younger kids like K through 10 to help raise money. So the money that we make from tutoring, we also go send to victims in Turkey. And we started this recently, and this was also an idea that my dad gave us.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so out of listening just to like, even though they might be like really small suggestions from your parents, and like you'll be like, oh my god, that's too much work. I thought it was too much work. It was a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it, knowing that you're directly helping people in Turkey by doing this.
Yeah, a lot of times, and that's the thing, it's not really cool to listen to your parents, but they usually are right. Even now, like my mom will tell me what to do with my kids, and I'm like, and I have to remind myself, Mom, I turned out so good. What did you do? I'm kidding. Because she'll be like, I did this, and you guys were fine, or whatever. Anyway, that's really, really good advice. Listening to your parents, and they all speak from experience themselves, and what they've learned in their lives. And it's in my experience also, it's always been beneficial as well. So Nilgun, I'll ask you last, what advice would you have?
I really like what Nursari, you said about stepping out of your comfort zone, and also a new thing that I'm trying to like start doing myself is like just experience things, like do things to experience them, and learn what you like to do, but also in a useful way. Just like this, like I didn't know this would be like, I went door to door with a few people, and we basically just like knocked on doors with a huge sign. We were like, we're having a fundraiser like down the street, and I just realized like just because of this, I realized that I like talking to people apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, just experience things just to experience them.
Yes,
Like
and you
that.
don't realize that until it happens. I mean, I was supposed to be a doctor like most Indian people. And you know, I'm serious. It was like, Rashi's gonna be a doctor. Rashi's gonna be a doctor. And then I'm not even joking. And this is part of this live stream, which is crazy. But I realized our brains are covered with mucus, and I could not get over that fact. And I'm like, this is disgusting. I cannot do this. Like, I can't learn about this. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to learn anything about the body. And I love talking and performing and all of this. So here I am doing what I'm doing. And but to your point, talking to people, helping out, obviously, but like in what spectrum, what part of like meetings that your dad's having you do, organizing those meetings. Like there's all these little components that happen in the umbrella of helping that are really beneficial. So I think that this has been a great conversation and something that started off as, you know, a small seed of an idea. Do you like that? Do you like that?
Yeah.
With the garden? Yes. To raising almost $3,000 and probably even more after this, to being on TV, now doing a live stream, and just knowing more about yourselves. I think it's great. So thank you all for joining us for this parent to parent. I think it's really made an impact for not just parents, but also kids as well.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
All right. Well, we'll see you later. Take care. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.